The fact that you just traded on that proves that you can't be trusted.
Hands in the air. Turn around slowly.
I cannot believe you just asked me
You
that.
respected me enough not to lie to my face.
We took that final step and lived to tell the tale.
Breaking news from Port Charles tonight. Carly Spencer never saw it coming that a man she thought she understood, a man she may have even trusted, just made a move so calculated, so cold-blooded, it's sending shockwaves through every corner of this city. And that's not all. Josslyn Jacks is being backed into a corner she cannot escape. And Jordan Ashford? She just walked back into someone's life, and nothing will ever be the same again. Port Charles is on fire tonight, and we have everything. Good evening, and welcome to General Hospital Media, your #1 source for the most dramatic, most emotional, most jaw-dropping updates from Port Charles. I'm your host, and tonight, we are tracking 3 developing stories that are colliding at the same time, creating one of the most explosive Fridays we have seen on General Hospital in months. That we are talking about a power play that Brennan has been quietly engineering behind Carly's back. A face-to-face showdown between Cassius and Josslyn that is way more intense than anyone anticipated. And a surprise appearance from Jordan Ashford that is about to flip at least one major storyline completely upside down. Stay right here, because what's coming next, you are not ready for. Let's set the scene, because context matters here. Port Charles has been a pressure cooker lately. Tensions between key players have been rising for weeks. Quiet threats, unspoken agreements, alliances formed in the dark. And right at the center of it all sits Carly Spencer, a woman who has survived more betrayals than most people can count, who has rebuilt herself from the ground up more times than this city deserves, and who, right now, believes she has a handle on what's happening around her. She doesn't. Then there's Josslyn Jacks, young, fierce, increasingly finding herself pulled into situations that are far bigger and far more dangerous than anything her mother ever wanted for her. She has been navigating a complicated personal life while trying to hold her head above the waterline. But tonight, the water is rising fast, and somewhere in the background, quiet, purposeful, watching, Jordan Ashford has been making moves of her own. Former police commissioner, a woman who sees things most people miss. And tonight, she's done watching. These 3 storylines are about to collide. And when they do, Port Charles will never look the same. Let's start with Brennan. For those who have been following along, you already know this man operates on a different level. He doesn't rage. He doesn't threaten. He plans, quietly, methodically, with the kind of patience that only the truly dangerous possess. In the days leading up to Friday, sources close to the storyline indicate that Brennan has been positioning himself. Small moves, subtle shifts, the kind of behavior that, on the surface, looks completely harmless, maybe even friendly. He has been in Carly's orbit. He has been present. And that, right there, should have been the first warning sign. Because men like Brennan don't show up without a reason. Carly, to her credit, is not naive. She's picked up on something, a stiffness in his posture, a too casual comment that didn't quite land right, a moment where his eyes said something completely different from his mouth. She noticed. But she didn't act fast enough, and in Port Charles, hesitation is the same thing as surrender. Here is where the story gets dangerous. Brennan doesn't just have an agenda. He has information. Specific, targeted, carefully gathered information about Carly, information that she does not know he possesses. And that's the part that makes this so terrifying. It's one thing to be blindsided by someone you never trusted. It's another thing entirely to be blindsided by someone who has been close enough to learn your vulnerabilities and chose to weaponize them. We're not dealing with a spontaneous betrayal here. This was engineered. This was a long game. And now that Brennan is ready to play his hand, Carly is standing at the table without knowing the rules have already changed. Whatever he knows, whatever piece of her life he is holding, it is enough to give him leverage. Real leverage. The kind that doesn't just create problems. The kind that redefines the entire dynamic between 2 people. Carly is about to find out that the ground she was standing on was never as solid as she believed. Meanwhile, across Port Charles, Josslyn Jacks is dealing with a confrontation of her own. Cassius has been circling this storyline for a while now. He is not a man who rushes. But Friday is the day he decides the waiting is over. He finds Josslyn. And from the very first word out of his mouth, she knows this is not a casual conversation. The energy between them is electric in the worst possible way. Cassius isn't yelling. He isn't threatening outright. But there is something beneath his words, a weight, a pressure, that makes every sentence feel like a door closing behind her. He knows something about her, or someone she cares about, and he is making it very, very clear that he is not going to simply let it go. Josslyn holds herself together, because she is Carly Spencer's daughter and falling apart has never been in her DNA. But inside, she is shaken, genuinely shaken, because the question Cassius is asking her isn't just a question. It's a test, and every answer she gives either closes one trap or opens another. And now, the moment we have all been waiting for. Brennan and Carly. Face to face, the scene begins deceptively calm. That's his signature move. Lull you in before the floor disappears beneath you. He speaks casually, maybe even warmly, and for a brief, dangerous moment, Carly almost relaxes. And then he says it. Whatever it is, a name, a date, a secret, an accusation, it lands like a physical blow. You can see it on her face. The split second where everything she thought she knew gets pulled out from under her. Carly doesn't break. She never breaks. But she staggers emotionally, mentally, in a way that is raw and undeniably real. What did you just say? That's the energy in the room. That is the silence that follows his revelation. That is the moment where Carly Spencer, a woman who has faced down mob bosses, federal investigations, and the darkest corners of Port Charles, stares at this man and realizes she may have underestimated him completely. Brennan's expression doesn't change. He's been waiting for this reaction. He's planned for it. And he's not done yet. The aftermath of Brennan's bombshell moves fast. Carly is forced to make an immediate decision, and every option in front of her is bad. Fight back and risk exposing herself further. Stay silent and let Brennan think he's won. Or reach out to someone she trusts and bring them into a situation that could put them at risk too. None of those choices feel safe. And that's exactly how Brennan designed it. On the other side of Port Charles, Josslyn is still processing her encounter with Cassius. She's trying to figure out what he actually knows versus what he's fishing for. She's replaying every word, every pause, every micro-expression, because in situations like this, the details matter. But here's the thing about Josslyn. She doesn't just react. She responds. And whatever move she makes next is going to be deliberate. Port Charles is holding its breath. And just when you think you have the full picture, Jordan Ashford walks into the frame. This is the development that nobody was fully prepared for. Because Jordan doesn't just arrive, she arrives with purpose. There is something she knows, something she has been carrying, maybe for a while now, waiting for the exact right moment to surface it. And that moment, it's today. What Jordan reveals, or who she confronts, changes the trajectory of at least one of these storylines completely. Whether it connects to Brennan's power play, to Cassius' confrontation with Josslyn, or to something else entirely bubbling just beneath the surface of Port Charles, the impact is immediate. She is not here to mediate. She is not here to observe. Jordan Ashford came to act. And when a woman with her history, her instincts, and her connections decides to make a move, everyone in her path needs to pay attention. Port Charles just got a whole lot more complicated. So where does this leave everyone as Friday's episode closes? Carly is shaken but not defeated. She's regrouping. And knowing Carly Spencer, the moment she finds her footing again, Brennan is going to wish he had never played this game. Josslyn is in a holding pattern, cautious, calculating, and quietly furious. Cassius may have cornered her today, but he has not broken her. Not even close. Brennan believes he has the upper hand. And for now, he might be right. But Port Charles has a way of humbling the overconfident. His clock is ticking. And Jordan, she has just inserted herself into the center of a powder keg. Whatever she revealed, whatever she started, the consequences are only just beginning to unfold. The threads are fraying. The secrets are multiplying. And the next episode promises to hit even harder. Now, we want to hear from you. Brennan just blindsided Carly in one of the most calculated moves we've seen on this show in a while. So here's the question we're asking Port Charles tonight. Do you think Carly will retaliate, or will she be forced to play it safe this time? And what about Jordan's surprise? Did you see it coming? Drop your theories in the comments right now. We read every single one, and some of your predictions have been scarily accurate lately. Let's see if you can crack this one before it unfolds. That if this breakdown had you on the edge of your seat, and we know it did, then make sure you hit that like button right now. It takes 2 seconds and it helps more people find this content. Subscribe to General Hospital Media if you haven't already. We are dropping updates, breakdowns, and exclusive spoiler analysis every single week, and you do not want to be the last one to know what's happening in Port Charles. Share this video with your fellow GH fans, because tonight's episode is one you're going to want to talk about, and we want to be the place where that conversation happens. And leave a comment below, your hottest take, your wildest theory, your reaction to Brennan's bombshell. We are here for all of it. Port Charles has seen betrayals before. It has survived secrets and scandals and shockwaves that should have torn it apart. But tonight feels different. Brennan's move against Carly, Cassius closing in on Josslyn, Jordan stepping back into the fire. This is not a warning shot. This is the beginning of something much, much bigger. And we will be right here, every step of the way, bringing you every twist, every confrontation, every truth that Port Charles tries to bury. This is General Hospital Media. Stay close, because the next breaking update is already on its way. Logo fade, outro music plays,